Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you how to go from zero to hero, how to manage a BABA call spread. Our real talk tonight is going to teach you real ways of how to bounce back from a setback, our precise daily stock levels, our game plan in Forex, as well as our full stock analysis. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. We're going to show you how to really come back from a setback today. Real ways, real talk is what I call it, because so many things out there offer, very little to no value, I feel, when people give you what I like to call, and they don't do it out of, mean-spirited or bad-heartedness, but empty talk. Talk that sounds real good, but does nothing for you. So we're here trying to overcome that. We have so much to talk about and more, especially our zero to hero call spread thing. But first, I would like to say thank you to our friends over at the T3 Live Compliance Department. Kindly pause this video when you are done reading. Go ahead and hit play. Thank you so much for reading that. And we're going to start off. We have a very interesting agenda today. So I'm going to really teach you that number two, how to bounce back from a setback in the market, how to actually bounce back. And but first, I'm going to talk to you about how I went from zero to hero today with the BABA trade. So just taking you right over to the charts. We were looking at BABA right over here on Tuesday, and I was pretty much predicting a bottom in BABA. I basically said, we were trading under support levels. We had a little inverted hammer. And I noticed something about my statistics, which are really going to enlighten you and help you make even more money in the future. And what I did here was I was buying 155 calls in November and shorting 160 calls in November and paying $1.97. Let's round it off for numbers' sake. Let's say I was paying $2 for that privilege. So $2 to net $3. So I can make 150% of my money, or I could lose 100% of my money, and everything in between in terms of my max gain, considering I held it to the end. So I took a decent sized position. For me, I don't consider it heavy. I don't really consider it light or medium. It's sort of in between light and medium. It's basically $20,000 or approximately, let's just call it 100 of them. And what I did here in this Baba is I held it on Tuesday and then it plummeted on Wednesday. And I'm looking and my $20,000 investment dropped to around 13, 14,000. So I'm down like a hot 6 or 7 grand. And I'm holding it because I went all the way out. My options expire. If you want to look at your chart right over here, I believe they were the November 15th, I believe, or November. It was the November monthly options expiration, which I believe is what November 16th, I believe is. So basically, all the way out to where you see this cursor here is where I could have held BABA, and hopefully BABA would have shot up above 160 by that time, and I might realize a full profit, a full um, $15,000 net, $30,000 net profit on a $20,000 position. So that was the thoughts. And I opened up this bullish call spread. Now, what a call spread is, you find it anywhere on the internet. You buy one strike, you short a higher strike. That's a bullish call spread. And you're basically trying to limit your losses and prevent yourself from bleeding time value because you're short one and long the other. It's not actually as complex as I'm making it sound. It's actually quite simple when you do the numbers and you get used to it. But basically, let's talk about what happened. So plummeted yesterday, probably down a good. I mean, I was looking intraday throughout a hot 6 or 7 grand, maybe even 8 at one point. I don't know. I wasn't watching at the very dead end of the day where my position was. And then the stock closed at 138.29, opened up this morning at 136.45. At that point, I was down about 50% of my position. And the reason is the 155 calls plummeted. And the 160 calls I was short also plummeted. So I was making money on the 160 calls that I shorted because the stock went down, and I was losing money on the 155 calls because the stock went down. And overall, I was still down money, but not as much as I would have been had I just bought the calls. So then what I did was we had some very interesting news. And look, this has been a tough week. I don't want to make it seem like this was an easy week whatsoever. And in fact, even yesterday, um, like I was like, call me nuts. I'm thinking of a new Baba overnight long, market psychotic. And one of the members of the Twitter were like, "Don't do it, Mark. No!" With like the slow motion hand coming through, trying to prevent me from doing it. But I tweeted this earlier in the day, and this was what really changed it on social media, that President Trump was going to meet President Xi at the G20 summit in late November. So they agreed to meet each other. And because of that agreement to meet each other, some traders are going to interpret it as, what are they going to meet about? And you have to be, this is where interpreting news, that's why we do it so well. To me, it's obvious at this point, but just to talk you through it, when this headline hit and we disclosed, this is 9:47 a.m. We're posting this, by the way, this morning today, 9:47 a.m. And when we posted this and it came out, um, I immediately bought Baba and started covering the short part of my call spread, the bearish part of my call spread. So obviously, I did very well on covering the short, even though my position was still down money from the 155 calls. It was nice to make about $12,000 from shorting the 160s and covering them at the lower price. But unfortunately, my 155s were down a lot more, so I was still down money. Again, so I went ahead and posted this, and I just first trade I did in the room today, I bought Alibaba. I was like, guys, I'm buying Baba right here. My charts started getting messed up. A lot of other people had messed up charts. There was some data flow issues, I think, across many platforms today. And I went ahead and I bought Alibaba right away. Now back to the news interpretation of this, and guys, stay tuned because we're going to teach you how to bounce back from a setback. Okay, stay tuned. That is coming up shortly. But when this news comes out, you have to realize how traders think. What could they possibly talk about? Do you think President Xi is going to talk to Trump about his golf game that he played at Mar-a-Lago? Do you think he's going to ask him if he likes American or Chinese cuisine more? What do you think they're going to talk about? Hi, you have really nice shoes today, Mr. President. What are they going to say? Obviously, they're going to talk about the US China trade war and if they can come to some sort of resolution. And by thinking like that right away, like to me, I read the headline, boom. Not even, I would say less than a second later, that's the first thing that crossed my mind. So if they're going to talk about the US China trade war, you have to understand it was plummeting recently because there were talks out there that China didn't even want to talk about. They're like, yeah, whatever, get away from us. And that made a lot of traders believe that this trade war is going to drag on. And again, you're trading on fear and greed. So when this came out, traders felt like there could be some sort of resolution in Alibaba. And this is what happened. Shot up, pulled back here. I bought a chunk of Alibaba calls, a little small chunk of them, and I sold it on that really nice big up move, made money. But the important thing I did was I was getting rid of my short calls, and that's how I went from zero to hero. So tomorrow, so a lot of traders in this room, it's kind of funny because now your maximum profit just turned into infinite because you're long calls now and you don't have a short call. So it's kind of funny how a trade where I was in the most optimistic scenario, at least in my head, I was thinking with the trade that I was going to make maximum 30 grand, like maximum, absolute maximum. Now I can make 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 grand on a trade like this. And not only that, I keep double dipping in Baba. I keep double dipping in Baba. In fact, I bought a little small chunk of the 145 calls expiring tomorrow. I bought 145 calls expiring tomorrow at 86 cents. Just a little scalp to go on top of the calls I already have. And what is Baba doing after hours right now, ladies and gentlemen? $144.30. It closed at 141.90. Now it's at 144.50. I find it funny how this happens. I mean, like I start talking bullishly about Baba and that I bought it as an overnight, and all of a sudden Baba jumps up, you know, 80 cents in a matter of 2 minutes. Do you find that funny how I almost feel like I almost feel like the Jim Cramer effect, like on Mad Money, when he would start talking about a name and the name would just spike up. I mean, believe me, I didn't buy one share of Baba tonight. Believe me, I'm not trading Baba right now or doing anything with it. I do find that awkward, and that happens a little too often. I'll start talking bullishly about something, they'll just shoot up. It's like normally I would say, "Holy shit, give me a chance to get in it," but in this case, do your thing, bro. Go ahead, shoot through the ceiling. So that was my zero to hero story, how I turned a call spread that was down 50%, and because I got rid of the short side, it and the stock did decide to move up, it actually decided to shoot up even higher. So funny how it just happened within those few minutes in which I was talking about. It's at 144.72. It's mind-boggling. We might hit a home run off this. I mean, that's unbelievable from a big losing position. So of buying a bullish, the point I'm making here, here's the point. If I bought it at the close, if I just bought common stock at the close on October 9th at 146.94, let's call it 147 just for number's sake, I'll be walking in down money tomorrow. But because I did a call spread and because of the way I managed it, where I got rid of the short side of the call spread and predicted that this news was enough to bring us up, I'm going to crush it. Wow, what a turnaround for my week. And I feel blessed and fortunate. I can't predict these news events coming out. I didn't sit there and said, hey, Trump and Xi, you guys should hold hands and talk to each other. You guys should go for a long walk on the beach together and stop this trade war so these Chinese names can go higher. But as a trader, we can react to these news events, and that is exactly what we do here. If you're going to bring political bullshit into the situation, at least make sure that there's a trade behind it and you can make money. That's the only time it's okay to talk politics and trading. If a political event is a market moving event. So we were talking about the Turkish reporter that was released today. That was another political event that was market moving. And look at what the Turkey ETF did right here. Shot up. That's a market moving event. And what we do really well here in the Newsbeat show is we do manage market moving events very effectively. So real talk. How to bounce back from a setback. It's kind of crazy because when I do these segments, it drains me in a way like I could never imagine. Because one of the things that I do when I go through these is I stem the problems back up in which I've accomplished and achieved and gotten past finally after God knows how many years. I've been trading 19 years and I've been past these problems, some of them 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, and it took me many years, over a decade, most of them to get past. And now I sort of have to stem them back up to talk to you about it. And it's kind of funny. So, some traders actually, I wouldn't call it therapy for me, Josh. It is not therapy for me. It's actually, digging up and bringing everything back up in which you buried and got rid of long ago. It's opening up the skeletons in the closet. So okay, so I'm pretty good at handling rejection. I was talking to an old friend of mine many years ago, and we were in a nightclub. I'm actually half embarrassed to admit that I went to those things, but I was at a nightclub because it was the cool thing to do. And I told my friend, go over and talk to that girl, and he wouldn't do it. And he wouldn't do it. You keep looking at her. Yeah, she's so hot. I'm like, whatever. Go talk to her. Go talk to her. Wouldn't do it. So I was like, you know what? If you won't do it, I'll do it for you. And I came up and I started talking to her, and she just basically said, sorry, I don't have time for you, like this, and just walked away, just like that. Like, total diss. And I'm pretty good at handling rejection. Maybe not the first time. The first time you handle rejection is never fun, but the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, tenth time, it gets easier and easier. When you are a writer, you hear plenty of no's. When you're a parent, you do too. And if you're at all human, you get plenty of practice managing mistakes, especially if you are a trader, failures, setbacks, and rejections. But I actually like telling some stories of defeats because the ones that are followed by stories of success amplify what I went through and how you actually get through the other side of the tunnel. Because while I have suffered plenty of setbacks in my life beyond trading as well, one thing I will do is keep going. In the market, persistence, not perfection, is essential for success in anything really. If you want a healthy, meaningful life, you got to keep going, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard, even after failure, especially after failure. You want to know the truth? When I knew my Baba was gapped down between Tuesday and Wednesday, like right over here, and I woke up in the morning in my bed and I looked at my phone and I saw Baba gap down like 4.5 points this morning on Wednesday, I didn't feel like getting up out of bed. I was like, you know what? F this. I'm just gonna put my phone. This happened just yesterday. Yesterday morning, this happened to me. And I was just like, I don't even want to get, I just want to roll over, put myself under the blanket and pretend I don't have this Baba position. That's how I felt. It wasn't going to set me back massively. It's just, it always feels like crap losing, regardless of where you are. And and I obviously did get up out of bed and I did turn this from my zero to hero situation, considering we're gapping up tomorrow. I mean, considering we're going to gap up tomorrow, granted, I hope we do. But one thing you have to really understand as a trader is you have to redefine what failure means to you. Intellectually, we know that our mistakes yield the opportunities and insights we need to ultimately succeed in life. So when rejections come, or losses, whatever it is, slow down and notice what isn't working. Stop focusing on all the ways you're screwed and start thinking about the information that failure offers. It's usually telling us to find a new way or to redirect our energies. Perhaps it's there to remind us of our commitment level, to reestablish our dedication. When we can identify what is not working, instead of becoming identified with pain of our failure, we can actually start on the solution. And it's really a new approach of thinking that really I started doing a few years ago that really helped bring me to where I am today. And the next big thing that will carry us in the direction of where we want to go. So, it's okay to experience disappointment, but I don't want you to wallow in it. Of course, it hurts when you take a losing trade and you feel like everything is down and you feel like all the money that you made, you're losing some right now. Allow yourself to experience the frustration and disappointment that comes with this failure, then get up and get going again. Don't deny your emotions. Too many traders like to bury and hide their emotions. You ever see the traders who are there from 9:30 to 4 every day and they were working as a trader for years? They're like robots. Hey, how are you? Good. hmm Very monotonous, very robotic. Make sure you also come up with another avenue, activity, interest to pursue so you don't get stuck in despair. And one of the things I had to do was I had to detach myself from outcomes and focus on the process because we as traders can become so attached to a single desired outcome, need to make money, that we feel lost and devastated when we don't get that one result. If there was only one way to succeed, then disappointment will inevitably loom. Focus instead on the process. What is it that is driving you toward your desired outcome? You want to make money as a trader. What are your passions and values? Are the steps you're taking towards your goal in line with those things? If you're growing and learning and living close to your values and passions all along the way, any outcome you're going to achieve is going to feel worthwhile, even if it is not your ideal outcome. It won't be time wasted, it'll be a life well lived. When your process aligns with your values and passions, you'll succeed in a myriad of ways. But if you are failing repeatedly en route to your ultimate goal, it could be because what you think you want doesn't align with how you go about it. Might be time to adapt your goal. So, what I did, again, is I was looking at what I was good at, and I'm very critical of myself in a positive way. And remember when I was telling you I tend to do really well when I buy things that close near the highs? It sounds crazy. Like I was looking at my results and I do well when I buy things near the highs. I bought Neo near the highs on Tuesday, right before the bell. And it shot up the next day. What a coincidence. I bought Baba on Tuesday near the day lows and it plummeted the next day. What a coincidence. But then I bought Baba again today at the day highs, and it's gapped up massively post market. Should be good tomorrow, most likely. Do you find that funny? And I'm a person who doesn't like to chase things in the market. I'm the first to admit that. In fact, I developed an entire algorithmic methodology that I invented to help you pick stocks at the bottom. That was the whole point, to buy stocks at the bottom, because when you buy at the day lows, it goes up and everyone makes money. And that was my goal as a broadcaster. That's how I exploded from 50 members to, where we are today, massively, massively larger. Because the whole point of a trade is to make money. I don't care how I accomplish that. I don't care how it feels to buy stocks at day highs if it falls in line with my methodology. I have no problem with buying stocks at day lows if it falls in line with my methodology. But in a market like this, with what has happened recently, when I buy a stock through a day high for an overnight trade, I have a massive win percent, over 82% this year. When I buy a stock at day highs, I will make money 82% of the time. What the F am I doing buying these stocks at day lows? And I stopped and maybe I needed this BABA. So what was it about this BABA? It's not going to be the five figures that I'm likely going to make in this BABA trade. That's not what I got out of it. What I got out of it was to know that when I bought BABA on Tuesday, it failed miserably to the point where I didn't want to get out of bed. And when I bought BABA today, right before the close, I feel like Superman. Why is that? When I bought Neo, not at $6.10 on Tuesday's low, but at 697 and 720, right near the day high. When I was buying it there and it gapped up the next morning, I felt like Superman. So you know what? In this market environment, for what it is now, and that will probably change throughout my career, you would be shocked how many things worked 19 years ago but don't work today, worked 7 years ago that don't work today, worked 5 months ago but don't work today, worked 2 years ago but don't work today. And unless you're following the same methodology that the same traders spew the same bullshit for year after year after year after year after year, you are destined for failure. If you are talking to somebody, yeah, I've been doing this trading methodology my whole life and it works, bullshit. everything changes. The strategies, the algorithmic strategies I'm giving you, those are going to change. The methodologies I'm using to make money consistently, like I do every year, those are going to change. I don't know when they're going to change. I don't know how they're going to change. I don't know what I'm going to need to do when I need to evolve, when the market does change, to adapt to it, to make money. But it will change. So you want to tell me the trading methodology? Oh, I took this course. It's such a famous course. It's top rated. When was it made? 2011, 2012. You're going to take that course and make money? I think somebody just gave you a middle finger and you don't even know it. You want to know why I'm here doing this? Do you ever wonder why I come out at night and I share this with you? Do you understand like why I do it? Because I'm so sick and tired of all the garbage out there and all the lies. And they're not even being lied intentionally. People don't even know why they're full of shit. It's not like, well, I know this strategy sucks, this course sucks, this methodology sucks, and I'm just going to pitch it anyway. No, these are not evil people. These are just people who just don't get it. They just don't get it. They don't even understand why what they're doing sucks. That's why when I tell people, even for my master class, yes, I still use many things to make money today in my master class, but it's not going to be the same master class 2 years from now, year from now. Maybe it will for 3 years, but maybe the fourth year will change. I don't know. You want to know why I did not release my third trading book? You want to know why trading books are bullshit that don't focus in on general psychology, that focus on strategies? I did two of them. I've written two of those books right here at T3. You know why they suck, those books, and why I would tell people to stay away from my books? You know why they suck? Because they were good 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. They were good 6, 7, 8 years ago. They're not good today. So when people are like, Mark, where do I get your book? I'm like, you know what? I could just tell you to go screw yourself and you don't have to waste the money. Don't. It's old. Yes, it worked at the time to make money well. If you have a time travel machine, talk to me. We could go back in time. I will show you the book, and I have a good feeling you're going to be a successful trader by following that. So you know what? I do like buying at day lows. But if my stats are saying that I trade better when I am chasing shit through day highs, I am not going to fight what my P&L is telling me. Now, that does not mean I'm not going to call bottoms. I still will. But when it comes to overnights like Baba, if I was looking at that particular statistic, which it didn't even occur to me to do until I took this intra hit, which turned out to be a blessing. By the way, 100% of this Baba trade goes to charity. 100%. You know why? Because it's not about the money. It's about realizing that I do better when I buy near the top as opposed to the bottom. And it's not just this Baba trade. I analyzed my whole year. I'm not using one example and making a display out of it. I improved as a trader because of this trade. Do you understand that I improved as a trader? Wouldn't have it been easier for me if I ignored Baba and just bought it off the the U.S. president talking to the Chinese president news? Wouldn't that have been a lot easier? And then bought it again at the end of the day? I would have been 2 for 2 with zero psychological toxicity, zero pain, and I wouldn't have even been in a bad situation on Wednesday where I didn't want to crawl out of bed and I didn't need to look at my P&L. Wouldn't have that been better? Wouldn't that have been better? Oh, I didn't buy Baba at 135.14 today, the day low. That wasn't me. In fact, I didn't buy a single share under 130 at 135 range or in the 136 range. I didn't. But what I did do was I made really good Baba trades today. And I took it overnight. And I took it overnight. So think about that for a moment. Wouldn't have that been easier than trying to say, you know what, I'm afraid I'm gonna, miss it out here. I did have some technical reasonings for buying it. I didn't do it just based on emotion here on Tuesday, excuse me. But I did approach it intelligently. I did approach it intelligently. And if I just follow that one simple thing that I learned about myself, is that I do better when I buy names at day highs as opposed to day lows. For whatever reason that is, I might never be able in the world to tell you how I read some of these momentum names. Maybe I will. Maybe I can explain it. But why didn't this momentum name work in this? How are you right 8 out of 10 times when you're buying these things near the day highs at the end of the day? How does that even make sense? I might not be able to ever answer that for you. I could show you why and how I did it, but maybe it's just what is working now in the market. And why can't we just accept that? Maybe, remember what we were talking about yesterday in our real talk, that you don't need to be the trader that is good at everything? Remember that? Remember you didn't have to be that person, that trader who says they have to be good at everything? Maybe I don't have to be good at picking the bottoms, even though I still feel I am. Nothing in my mind is telling me differently. But maybe I am better statistically, mathematically proven for this year, for 2018, that I am better buying stocks at the dead end of the day near day highs than I am trying to pick a day low. And for that reason, 100% of this money will go to charity because that lesson to me is worth infinitely more than any amount of money that I can make on Baba. So, precise daily stock levels, copy them. A lot of them were very accurate from the other day. Take a screenshot of it. Take a picture of your phone. Make sure you have these levels by you. I'm giving them to you for free. Take advantage of it, ladies and gentlemen. Did throw on some Forex trades too, right over here. Some new trades. Um, Buy orders, US standard lots, symbol, price I'm bidding on currently, my stop loss, my take profit, every night at 7 o'clock p.m., Sunday through Thursday, because Forex stops on Friday, Eastern Standard after 5 o'clock. I canceled these trades that didn't get filled and I put in new ones. So here are the trades I'm looking to buy: Great Britain pound Canadian dollar, US Canadian dollar, and US dollar yen. Game plan for tomorrow. Um, hmm, that's weird. One moment. Here, I'll just show you it right here. Very simple. I got a BABA bullish trigger through um 144. Am I biased? Yes, I have a position in it. Of course I'm biased. I think BABA could break through 144. I want to show you why 144 is a key level. It's because it's very simply Wednesday's high, and it could enter you in a gap fill to 146.47. I don't have to tell you what your options will do if BABA gets to 146.47. Your calls will go through the ceiling. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I am very looking forward to seeing you guys this Saturday at the Active Trader Summit. I think the guys at T3 want to already kill me because I haven't submitted what I'm going to be talking about. I think they wanted a bunch of pretty slides with charts, and I'm just not going to do that bullshit. It's just not who I am. I would rather have a chance to penetrate the minds of the people who are going to be at the Active Trader Summit with more of this real talk, with real life situations, because I think that will do more for your trader than that genius showing you, oh, this is the chart pattern I like, and this is what I do when it does this, and we all know that doesn't work consistently. We all know it doesn't. If it did, I would see more algorithmic strategies focusing in on it when they are not. I would see it, and they're just not. So it's bullshit because I'm not saying that these traders don't make money. They probably do. Some probably don't. But I'm saying you cannot help the majority of people by just showing them trade patterns. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into our full stock analysis. That's your stocks, my levels and thoughts. That is for Newsbeat Live members only. We're the largest, fastest growing trading room in the United States of America. Happy trading, make money. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.